Now, whatever the geopolitics of the Ukrainian-Russian conflict, the regular people on the ground and their lives are real casualties of the war. This is the daily scene for many in the city of Lviv. The man joining me next took that video and has just returned from Ukraine last week, where he hoped to spread goodwill. Welcome, Father Benedict Kiley of the Nazarene.org. It's so good to see you.
Thank you, as always, Emerald. Thank you for your support.
Now, Father Ben, you were there for a few days. You came back last week. Can you just tell us what you experienced with the Ukrainian people during your time there?
Well, I was there, Emerald, for Orthodox and Eastern Catholic Easter. They celebrate according to the Julian calendar, so a week after we have. So I had two Easters, in fact, one in England and one in Ukraine. And I was there I was with a reporter from the London Daily Telegraph, but I was there really to show support for the Ukrainian Catholic Church. The Ukrainian Catholic Church is, according to the Eastern rites, they celebrate very like the Orthodox, but they were terribly, terribly persecuted during the time of communism, all the way from 1946 right up to 1989. And unfortunately, where the Russians are winning, that persecution is beginning again. They are imposing, as you know, the rule of the Russian Orthodox Church. Patriarch Kirill, who is basically a puppet of Putin, the patriarch of the Russian Orthodox Church, has been blessing the Russian troops, saying this is a holy crusade. How it can be a crusade when Ukrainians are Christians. Let's not forget this. This is Christians now fighting Christians, not Muslims fighting Christians. This is Christians fighting Christians. So it's a very, whatever your view of the politics, it's a terribly sad situation if you're a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ to see brothers and sisters fighting one another.
Yeah, it's extremely sad. Now, you said they sound like they're very afraid. Have many of them left?
Yes, many, of course, we know many millions have left Ukraine, going into Poland. Poland, what a marvelous country, taking 2.5 million Ukrainians. Hungary, also taking, well, many more than 500,000, and other countries. And but the real story that isn't really, I think, being reported much in the media is the internal migration, as it were. You can't be a refugee in your own country, so you can't call them refugees, but millions of Ukrainians have been moved because of the war. They're what's called IDPs, internally displaced persons. They've been driven from the east of the country all the way into the west, and in fact to the city of Lviv, which has thousands upon thousands of IDP, internally displaced Ukrainians.
Now, you mentioned this is Christian on Christian, but your organization works a lot in Muslim countries like Iraq, where Christians are persecuted on a continual basis. And we have some video also of what has recently happened in Mosul. This is the life every day that we don't really focus on it, of these persecuted Christians in Iraq. Could you tell us about the current situation for them? And then also tell us about some of the things your organization does. I saw your newsletter. You helped a man there set up a candy shop in order to kind of, do something. I don't think we ever focus on what can you actually do. So just tell us about the current situation there, Father.
That is correct, Emerald. Well, the situation is, unfortunately, again, getting very serious. This time it's not ISIS. Although ISIS is rising, we mustn't think that ISIS has gone. It's just has a new name. It's always the same thing. Unfortunately, the real problem is the Shia militias, who are controlled by Iran, are encircling the Christian towns. They're not killing the Christians yet, but last night, in fact, they shot missiles from one of the Christian towns where we support many businesses into Erbil, the capital of Iraqi Kurdistan. So they're making the Christians feel extremely unsafe and wondering whether they have a future. But what we're trying to do in our little way is allow people to stay by giving them some hope. In other words, supporting them with a job. So yes, for example, we support many family businesses. We give them money. We don't loan it. We give it to them. They start a family business. That way they stay in their country and they don't become migrants, economic migrants. It's one of the real answers to migration. Keep people in their own countries by giving them support.
Yeah.
And so, yes, one of the businesses is a little family candy shop.
It was so sweet in the pictures. Well, Father Ben, thank you for your work, joining us from the UK. And if you'd like to learn more about his organization and support it, you can go to Nazarene.org.